Hello, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the live show, No Bullshit 2 here. We're talking about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the movie. It just came out today. I think there's actually some early screenings last week, but we saw it tonight. We saw it in Dolby. I'm here with my bros. First thoughts, guys, right out the gate. I mean, I think this movie was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. Like, this is probably one of the better Spider-Man stories out there right now, and it's the first time we get to see Miles Morales on the big screen. So,
yeah,
pretty excited about that.
They did a good job. He was the lead. You know, it's like he got his fair share in the movie, and I think he did well with it. Like, it was a good character, good story, good animation. What'd you think, Con Man?
Con Man, is that where we're going? What the fuck? I don't know, dude. Do a podcast. If you're on Twitter at my WTF show, I'm not a big Spider-Man fan, honestly. I like other Marvel characters. But this movie was fucking awesome. It was my favorite Spider-Man movie I've ever seen. And if you're a Spider-Man fan, you'll love it. But if you're like me and you're a fair weather Spider-Man universe guy, I think you'll thoroughly enjoy this film. It was awesome.
I feel there was plenty of Spider-Mans for anybody out there.
Had your own different flavor,
different version per person
for everyone. You had Spider-Man,
good music, and the visual. We saw it in the Dolby theater. I'd recommend that if you could see it IMAX or one of those higher quality sound systems.
Yeah, it looks really good.
But visually, music-wise, I loved it.
Yeah, and I think that's a good endorsement. I think maybe me and you, talking to Miggy over here, we're bigger Spider-Man fans, probably comic book stuff.
I grew up with them. I love them.
Which you also like. But from your perspective, it's like, okay, anyone can really like this movie. Like, it doesn't matter if you like Spider-Man's particularly. Just got to be a cool dude like us.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, he says in the movie, anyone can wear the mask. You know, and it's true. It's and with all these different interpretations of Spider-Man, it's kind of like the truth. You know, anyone could really truly be like this person if you just believe in yourself. And it was a great movie, dude.
Yeah, but you got to get bit by a radioactive spider.
Well, that helps. I mean, that does help.
That like super strength. So I don't want anybody to go out there and be like, oh, I can believe in myself, so I'm gonna go fight crime in the subway. I wouldn't do that necessarily right now. You got to do a montage of training.
You got to train first, obviously.
Go to Russia, yell Drago. Just saying.
There is a Spider-Man for everyone. I see that. And I can see that message. I think it's cool. And then the other thing I would think of right off the gate is just that kind of, I don't know. I feel like there's this trend of like multiverse stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's really hot right now.
Oh, yeah.
And this movie kind of maybe comes into that trend. I wouldn't say in a bad way, though. Like it does a good job of it. And it hits like all those like different styles. Like obviously, okay, if you haven't heard about the movie or you don't know anything, you know, basically there's like a multiverse thing where there's like 10 different Spider-Mans, a whole bunch.
Yeah.
And you go to these different worlds. That's the basic setup. And yeah, the way they do it here, it looks really cool. And there's like a style to each one. And then it reminds me of those other movies, but I can't think of them off my head. I almost want to say like Avengers Infinity War, but that's like all the same universe.
Well,
but it's kind of like that.
DC is really jumping into that right now because we heard, they teased it in, Justice League, and Batman versus Superman. And then in the Arrowverse universe, they're definitely teasing that like their next big storyline's Infinite Crisis. So that's when literally the universes start crashing into each other. But so you're right. There is a lot of like multi-universe.
The idea of combining universes and similar, the same characters but different versions of them is a really new topic because they haven't been able to do it with technology-wise and the way they could tell a story. So it's all happening right now. And so far for me, this was the best version of that. But I have to think that maybe possibly because it was animated the way it was, really opened up the possibility for what this movie could do in terms of action and stuff. And it was awesome. It really makes me excited for the future of how they could really take maybe some superheroes stories should only be animated like this because of the way the graphics and everything and the figurative language. Like I think this changes the ball game. I mean, I'm obviously very positive.
Yeah, I think I could see that too. Like for example, off what you said, like I couldn't see this being made live action.
No, there's no way.
Definitely not the way they made it.
Yeah.
But even if they tried, like with this kind of story, it's like you were saying, with the animation, you can just do so much different stuff. And then it's also a big part of what I was mentioning before, just the different styles.
Yeah.
Like it makes the styles like very cool because there's like one Spider-Man that's kind of like more comic book or like cartoony.
Yeah.
And then there's one that's like dark and like it's like pulp. Film noir Spider-Man, like each of those styles
like an anime
really cool.
Spider-Man. And that's I think with it being an animated film and the style of it itself was really cool. It felt almost like the pages of the comic book where it's like a motion captured comic book.
And there were words that were written out and stuff with sound effects.
It's almost like it's like Deadpool. You can talk about Deadpool because that would be the closest live action film that you can say compared to this because he understood he was a comic book character, so he was able to jump outside those lines. But with this movie, you have all this free range because you're right, it is animated and you can do way more with what you got.
And yeah, actually, I'm glad you brought up Deadpool. This is something I mentioned in the car ride home. Like so another part I really liked about this movie, and this could go somewhere different, but first specifically, like this kind of reminds me of Deadpool 2, like how they had that. But it was just at the end where they had like the time travel thing, and then he said he was like cleaning up timelines, and like he kind of did a thing that was just like an end joke for Deadpool 2, as opposed to like this movie was really exploring that, like the different
kind of universes and different
universes and whatnot. But then the other thing that reminds me of Deadpool, and this will go into another part of this movie that I really liked, was just the cast and like the humor, and they really nailed Spider-Man. Like they got, and I say it's like Deadpool because it's like, there is a Spider-Man out there in comics and stuff that was very similar to Deadpool with the humor, and
quick
the quips,
talking, like very witty and stuff like
and
that.
The jokes and like while he's fighting, and we've seen that a few times on the big screen, but like they really nailed that Spider-Man here.
Yeah, because you've been talking about it, Miguel, for a while. Like, Spider-Man's supposed to be funny. He's a funny guy. Him and Wolverine really get along, and this is the time that I actually understood exactly what you meant by that.
Yeah, Jake Johnson's.
Well, Chris Pine too. Chris Pine. A lot of people don't know he's in this, and he is. He's like the first Peter Parker. And his voice and everything just works. So I wasn't a big fan of Tobey Maguire. I never got why he would be a superhero. So Chris Pine was like every Spider-Man in this movie was better than Tobey Maguire in the original Spider-Man. That's all I would say. That's probably why they replaced his voice.
I know, that's true.
And I thought maybe it was Kirsten. It wasn't Kirsten Dunst in the first Mary Jane.
It was Zoe Kravitz
both times.
Yeah, that's what the credits say. I didn't pick it out right away.
Well, I hate this movie now.
No,
but they did have other good cast members. I mean, Zoe Kravitz is super hot right now, by the way. I mean, like her.
I just watched Kin.
She's in everything.
Yeah, I just watched Kin.
She's in Kin. She's in like. We go back to Mad Max. She's in
dude, Fantastic Beasts.
Her dad is so talented.
Fantastic.
I mean, she's such a
Yeah.
And her mom was in the Cosby Show. Yeah. But did something happen? We don't know. I don't want to start rumors. I'm just saying.
That's a whole other rabbit hole.
We're talking
about Spider-Man, a family-friendly film here.
Yeah, Spider-Man, and then the cast. We can't not mention film noir Spider-Man, which is Nicolas Cage.
Did a great job.
Did a good job. There was the girl one we already. Oh wait, the girl Gwen. Haley Steinfeld.
Yep.
Yeah. So also
also gonna have
right
and also gonna be Bumblebee coming out next year.
She's like a pop singer too. Do you know that?
Yeah. Actually, that's how I knew it before because
perfect.
The wife listens to that stuff. And maybe I like some of those songs too. I'm not gonna like admit
you
that
like them more.
Yeah, I mean you were just singing it in the car.
And then we got a comment. Shout out to AJW saying her mom was in the Cosby Show, and now we have Miles Morales. Yeah, that's called called progress, guys.
Yeah,
this movie is very progressive. It's the first Black Spider-Man. It also teases. I won't say that.
And of Latin descent, too.
Yeah. They have a.
Wait, he's saying that Cosby and her mom made Miles Morales. I was going to say I already said that, but that's a different version.
Tie-in.
That's funny.
Yes, maybe Cosby is like a storyline that Cosby shows.
He's the father of every Cosby kid is a Spider-Man. This is how it worked out because he was bitten by a spider and he did his business.
And then he just happened to
and they all came out spider kids.
Drug the drink, so it's all worked out.
Yeah,
he gave him his spider jello.
Yeah, that was it. That was the drug. It wasn't they're making them superheroes.
Yeah,
why are they so mad?
Cosby,
it's terrible.
Guy. Yeah, I feel bad for him. No, I mean the victims.
Yeah, exactly. Come on.
Just kidding.
Okay. Ghost Dad, though. I saw that a lot as a kid. I don't know if you did. Ghost
Dad. Worst movie ever.
Yeah. It's pretty
simple. Like Cosby never made it in film.
No, didn't ever get there.
No, never did.
Didn't go that far.
But this movie's going to make it.
This movie is going to make a lot of money. Good film. Good fun. I think I can't stress enough, like I was mentioning the Deadpool's stuff, but just the comedy. The movie's funny,
super funny.
There's all kinds of funny.
Jake Johnson was a perfect casting choice.
Yeah, totally.
He nailed that character.
Well, for that Spider-Man.
Yeah, for that Spider-Man.
Every one of his movie roles, he's always the guy who like his life is imploded.
Yeah.
Like in Tag, which is a really underrated movie, his wife left him, and he's just at home, not doing anything.
His embodiment of that character.
Let's be cops.
Same thing.
Same herpes commercial from 5 years ago. He's living off that. So yeah, he's perfectly typecasted, man.
Yeah, I mean, he just seems like an underachiever.
Yeah, classic underachiever.
Good Jake Johnson.
The only one is like, I guess, Jurassic World. Like he was just kind of whatever.
Very small part in that. But where I would take it, I like you were underachieved. Personally, I think all the other Spider-Man movies have underachieved in entertaining me.
Okay, well, Spider-Man 2
this movie achieved entertainment for me. And
it's too bad you didn't like Homecoming.
No, I didn't hate it, but this was actually like It was different. I was really into it.
Yeah.
All the Spider-Man movies, I'm like, okay, it's Spider-Man. Here's what he does. He's always like a kid, so he's kind of soft. I'm a Batman guy, a Wolverine guy, so he's always a bit of a bitch in a way sometimes.
I think you're, intelligence.
Yeah, that Toby bias.
Toby
and Garfield, the British guy. But I'm saying in this
Spider-Man's
movie,
also strong.
all the Spider-Mans were like badass. Like I respect them. I was like, okay, I can trust this guy to save whatever city I'm in.
Yeah, it's cooler, and it's like I think it's more fun. I would say I was thinking about this too, actually, the comparison to like Homecoming.
Yeah.
Because Spider-Man Homecoming is still pretty good.
I like it a lot.
I think it's just they both offer very different things.
Yeah.
It's like Spider-Man Homecoming is like
it's a live action
bringing him into Marvel cinematic.
Well, when Homecoming came out, it was my favorite of the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
Next to a few scenes in Spider-Man 2, there are a lot of value in that movie. But this movie is already blowing all those movies out of the water. Like I'm not a big Spider-Man guy, but I fucking love this movie.
Yeah.
And that's why they did such a good job. Someone like me is actually
into it,
giddy about a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
Like
I think it's cool,
well
and
done.
I think it's cool because another thing.
Keep going.
No, yeah. It was the other thing I was thinking was like how I mentioned they'd be doing some multiverse stuff here, and then on other things. Another one I didn't get to say was they have that kind of in Doctor Strange, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he talks about like the multiverse, and I think what's cool is we're in 2018. I mean, I don't mean to say current year like a douchebag, but it's like we're finally at a point in like cinema history where we can like do that stuff.
Well, that's what I was saying in the beginning.
It's like hard, like they wouldn't be able to do that 5 or 10 years ago.
You said live action, and that's what immediately what I thought of was like it would just look cheesy, and that's what Doctor Strange looked when they're running on buildings and stuff, and that's why it was better that it was animated.
Yeah,
technology gives us the opportunity to do all this stuff.
It's cool, and it's like cool that we've come so far that like we can do these complex stories.
Come so far, dude.
And it wasn't cheap either.
I'm so proud of
we're
our
all
nation.
so special. 2018.
I'm proud of this country.
2018, we're living life.
I feel like
special.
I didn't have anything to do with the productions of these movies.
No.
But sitting in a theater, like, I feel like I was a part of it.
Oh yeah.
But if one of the 6 people watching this right now goes and see this movie because of our enthusiasm for how much we loved it, then we did help make this movie, and they can send my royalty check to blank 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 Los Angeles.
Our support for this kind of cinema
it matters.
Is what brought this about.
It matters.
And that's why we're at the real talk though. That's why we've gotten this far in like this kind of complex stories. Like another one, I would say another milestone would be like going back to like Avengers, or maybe like Civil War even, which kind of got like a more complex Avengers. Yeah. And that's where I think we've gotten this far now. And the reason I say it again one more time is just this is the kind of shit that's cool. Sick. Like when I was a kid, it was like I never thought you would see this in a movie.
Yeah, I was reading in comic books.
It seems like comic book stuff.
That's how old we are.
Yeah. And it's like those it seems so comic book like the way they do multiverse stuff, because that's like a very comic book thing, and you just think how the hell would they even do that on screen? But it's like cool that they're doing it.
Yeah. Can you imagine? I feel like some people might have a heart attack. Like you go into the theater with people watching E.T., which was like a masterpiece when it came out to people. It was like the hugest movie ever. And then you're like, okay, and here's your next movie, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and you just lock them in there and they got to watch it. Like some people might like have a seizure.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
Seizure.
Yeah, that's going further back
all the
too.
difference.
Like, if you went that far back and showed them like even just showing them like Avengers, they might be like, whoa.
Yeah.
I can't even put all this together.
They won't be able to process.
They'd be so disappointed at every movie they watch until they get to our age, because they'd be like, oh my God, this isn't.
Now, just show them Terminator 2.
I want to say, the thing I really think interesting about the comic book or the animated part of this is that if I watch a regular trailer live action, I already know immediately what actors are in it. And it kind of gives me their casting of who they're going to be, and I can kind of already figure out because I'm a movie nerd, right? This movie, there's a lot of actors I had no idea were even in it until I watched it, which is really nice because, like, Liev Schreiber, I'm a huge fan of Ray Donovan. He's such a nice guy in real life, and he was a great Kingpin. It was so cool to see him as Kingpin, man. It was just
that was cool.
Shout out to Catherine Hahn.
Catherine Hahn was great. When we rate this is going to be one of my highest ratings.
Let's go ahead and why don't we do that?
I think we're almost there. We're wrapping up. We're going to keep this one short and simple, guys. If you do have any other questions or comments, drop them in now. We're going to get to our ratings, but real quick, a comment from Actual saying, does Stanley's Ghost show up like the multiverse section of the 90s animated series?
Well, there was an awesome cameo, which this time it really did kind of, I think everybody in the theater was a little bit like, oh, like.
It was like emotional.
He's
not like
now.
Too much. Like
that's the last one, unless they already did it for Endgame.
No, he's got a few more. He shot a bunch of them in a row. I'm pretty sure we'll see him Captain Marvel and Infinity War.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
hopefully,
I heard that. I actually heard that the last one he filmed was the Spider-Man video game.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. Like, obviously, that's not the last one released because this one just happened.
Yeah.
But like, I remember I was like heard about that, and then I played that game. which reminds me, there's another thing like that game ties into this movie a bit. I don't know if you guys have played it.
Yeah,
but
don't
like,
tell me. Yeah, I own it, and I will be playing it.
Not like
this
too
weekend.
specifically, but they're both like Sony, and then the game is on PlayStation. And then I just remember one scene you could see all the suits from the movie and the game.
Yeah,
and then it's like, yeah, some of the story is similar, but yeah, I won't spoil that.
Multiverse, bro.
Yeah, it's that multiverse stuff. But thanks, Actual, for watching and commenting. That's my bro.
Thanks, guys.
Good to see you, bro. Let's see. Homer says fright power and all hail blue whale. That's a very enthusiastic. I like that. I like your enthusiasm. Would you say that Into the Spider-Verse is like Homecoming for the character, or that it's Far From Home for the character?
Probably more Homecoming based on the humor. That's kind of what we were saying, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Far From Home was coming out soon.
I don't know what Far From Home is going to be, but
he actually means it. What is that? Is it Spider-Man movie?
That's the second one.
I guess he's just comparing them, just asking. But let's do ratings.
I'll go first. I'll give it a 4.2 out of 5, which is a 8.4 out of 10. Very positive.
Good. That's good.
I'm giving the thing a 9 out of 10.
That's hot.
I give it a 9.1.
Okay.
I give it a 9.9. It's like we're playing that.
I give it a 9.9.
I give it a 9.9.
I give it $1. I give it $1.
9.99 with an infinity thing on it. I've already won.
What's that one? The Price is Right. It's like the person that bets $1, the last person. It's like asshole.
Screws them over.
I'll just look it up.
No, guys, it's really good.
Yeah, it's really good, and I would give it a similar. I was just gonna say I think a 4. But that's a really good rating. Like I don't usually do 4s or anything higher. So yeah, 4 out of 5. Whoa. Excellent movie. Recommend it if you like Spider-Man, if you like movies, if you want to take the kids to a cartoon.
It's a funny movie.
Yeah, it's good for adults, good for everyone. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Thank you guys for coming back on the show.
I appreciate it, man.
Always fun. We'll be talking about movies. This might be a last one for a couple weeks, but we'll be back soon.
Have a good, happy holidays, guys.